is coming out to Jeff Purvis. Here he comes, crossing the stripe. One more lap to go. It is still Loy Allen Jr. leading Kirk Shelmerdine. I don't know, guys. I don't think Kirk's going to catch him.
I don't think he is either now.
I thought he was going to, but you're right. It doesn't appear as he can.
Loy doing a great job holding that car right in the groove that he needs to be, just as Jeff Purvis is.
Well, the former dirt late model champion in 1983, Jeff Purvis, is headed toward his first ARCA victory. He has dominated this race, probably about as much as I've seen recently.
Kirk is moving closer as they come into turn 4, but I don't think he's going to be able to pass him, but he is going to catch him by the time they get to the start-finish line, or almost catch him.
Here comes Purvis off the 4th corner onto the tri-oval, crossing the stripe. Jeff Purvis wins the ARCA 200. There's second place Loy Allen. He finishes about 2 car lengths ahead of Kirk Shelmerdine, and the 4th place goes to Jeremy Mayfield. And there's the celebration in Jeff Purvis's pit. He has won the ARCA 200. Now here's this battle for 7th position between Rubright and the 18 car of Robert Ham.
Looks like Rubright's going to get it. That's the white car in front.
Yep, he did. Sean Kernan is with James Finch.
James, you lost your... He's done all the things that you got to do to win races, so I have something for him. He's done a great job. White flag, and there he's... We're watching Purvis as he takes the white.
He's about to win his 3rd race of the year. He, of course, won at Daytona, and he won at Michigan, and he has had 3 poles this year. Jeff Purvis brings the car off the 2nd corner and goes down the backstretch for the final time in competition. He passes the 56 car driven by Jerry Hill. Keeps it in the middle of the racetrack as he heads through corners number 3 and 4, sees the 84 car of Tom Lorenz ahead of him. He comes off the corner and stays behind him as he takes the checkered flag and wins the Jiffy Lube 500K. Jeff Purvis. The happy crew begins to move towards victory lane, and we will be back to wrap it up in just a moment. Congratulations to Jeff Purvis, who has won here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Thankful, and this probably will come away. Here is the caution flag being waved and the white flag, so caution and white, and this time as they come by for the win, here comes Boucher, and Purvis will take the caution flag and the white flag, but it's not over, fans. Remember what happened in Bristol, Tennessee, and they're already celebrating down in the Jeff Purvis pit.
It's over. I mean, they get the checkered flag the next time by.
Yeah, but Mark Martin didn't make it all the way back.
We see that once in a lifetime. This baby is over.
Okay, Doyle Ford waving the caution and the white, and Jeff Purvis will take the Delco Remy Chevrolet Lumina to victory lane behind the Pontiac safety car. Great run by Purvis. And what about Bobby Boucher, the car number 21, as Loy Allen climbs out of the Hooters Ford?
Evidently, there was contact between Loy Allen and the 52 car of Jimmy Horton. Let's take a look and see. We see the two car on the outside, Jimmy Horton, and Horton goes up. Did Bowser get in the back with this car?
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say which one of those cars. Somebody touched him, I think, as he came right there. But look at those flaps. Really do their job. Put the car back down on the ground. Then it's spun around again. Here they come up again.
I tell you, what a job. You got to give a call to the NASCAR people who, look, there's a dent in the back of the car. Looks like he got a little bit of maybe some sheet metal damage before he even hit the wall. But those flaps up on that car kept that car on the ground. It started to lift. The flaps put it back on the ground. They're stall flaps to stall the air coming across the top of the car so it'll stay on the ground. That's indeed what it did. And fortunately, Loy Allen able to walk away. But this car right here will be headed to victory lane. The Delco Remy X1R friction-proofing Chevrolet. Jeff Purvis, they're standing on pit road. Mark Reno, congratulations. Mark Reno, the crew chief down there. For Jeff Purvis, and what a job they have done.
Now they go up beside of him and congratulate Jeff Purvis on winning the race there. Mark Thompson does. That's what they did to Mark Martin in Bristol, but they did it on the white flag lap rather than the checkered flag lap.
I tell you, and somewhat of a victory for Mark Thompson, who finishes in third today after that spectacular spill at Daytona. Here again's what happened.
Well, this is from a camera on top of the roof, and we really can't see what initiated the contact between Loy Allen and Jimmy Horton.
Yeah, I think Horton is the car that maybe made contact with Allen's car.
Different angle once again. We'll show you with 2 laps to go, coming at you out of turn 2.
The cars are just so far apart, and all of a sudden they just go together. I can't tell if Loy Allen came down the racetrack or Horton went up. Hard to say exactly what happened. I don't know.
Hard to say, but got to believe. You talk about a testimonial for those flaps. I said I don't know if there's an engineering award for motorsports, but it should go to whoever developed those flaps, as certainly they have done their job repeatedly at Daytona. And as Ned, you mentioned, it came out in a bulletin this week that those flaps will be required on every car in NASCAR racing on tracks of a mile or longer.
That's starting in August.
We'll be back to talk to our winner here of the Food World 500 as they head to victory lane, coming down to take the white flag from Doyle Ford. 99 laps complete. He will come around next time by for the checkered. Purvis, the leader. Bradbury in second. Kimmel is third. Car number 95 being shown forward to Andy Belmont. Then came the Jeff McClure and Laura Lane, 5th and 6th place battle.
That James Finch is just a little nervous right now, huh, Ned, the owner of this car?
I'm sure he's keeping his fingers crossed, just counting the seconds until he gets back around. Said, please come on back one more time. See, he's running those up in the right side tires in that white stuff.
Gets right to the edge of it. Here he comes down for the checkered flag.
Final time by for the 34-year-old Clarksville, Tennessee native. And Jeff Purvis will take the checkered flag. And here's the battle for 5th spot. Right side of your screen, Laura Lane. Left side, Jeff McClure. They are 5th and 6th. Final lap.
She's closing in as they come on to turn 4, Jerry, but I don't think she has enough room to make the pass, but she's giving it everything she has.
She's coming 2 car lengths, trying to make it a car length and a half, and she will quite do it at the line. But a great finish from Laura Lane. What an impressive run in just her 7th ever ARCA start. We'll be back to talk to Jeff Purvis. His margin of victory, 4.16 seconds, as he heads to victory lane. Back in Michigan after this.
Let's demonstrate something on 4 laps to go. 4 to go from when they took green, and they are underway, and we've got 1 in the wall. Car number 67 bangs the wall hard. Len Krautheim from Penns Creek, Pennsylvania, and that's going to bring out still another caution. 6 leaders thus far, 4 cautions. This would be the 5th of the day. Krautheim's car, and the yellow is out. So that could be a big break for Purvis. You think they can get another lap, or do you think we've written this one off?
I think this is possibly going to enter under the caution. It'll be close, maybe a green and a white together.
There are 2 other cars involved as they come back to the line. Purvis in first. In second to the yellow was Trickle, and Brad Teague had pulled up into third. He took a big shot there, feeling it might be the last lap. There are 2 other cars involved in that incident. It looks like number 30, Ron Burchett, and perhaps the number 90 car, Jack Ely of Bethel, Connecticut, that we saw earlier. There's where it begins. Those other 2 cars slid down to the bottom of the track in the grass together while this car was spinning up against the wall. Krautheim's number 67 getting a little tag from car number 30, Ron Burchett. And Burchett comes down, and you don't see it in that picture, but in the one before, you could see him in the 90 getting in contact and landing on the inside of the track.
What happens a lot of times, Ken, on a restart, you pick up a lot of debris on the rubber on the tires, and a guy that's not really experienced on the speedway won't know to really clean those tires up well, and he'll get down to the first turn, and the car just will not turn with him, and he has to get out of the throttle, and somebody rams him.
I may have said Brad Teagan. That's Kerry Teagan.
Kerry, yes.
Yeah, that's Kerry Teagan, the number 11, that made the good move on that restart to get himself into third position. So, another lap under caution. They're working lap 58 at the present time. Be touch and go as to whether or not they can get this thing turned loose under green to give us another shot at the race. They double filed them as they came down, Darrell.
Yeah, in cup racing, a 10-lap rule is everybody stays single file. So in this series, they still are allowed to double up. The lap cars are, just everybody has to stay in the lane they belong in.
All right, the great fake continues to be the story of the moment. Here's Dick Berggren.
Kev, I wish I could tell you some of the stuff that's going on over the air here between Tim Steele and his crew, but I don't think the FCC would let me use language like that. Meanwhile, Trickle's guys are really serious, John Allen. They're saying that it was a rules violation that you guys faked that pit stop. How about it? Was it?
I don't know of anywhere in the rules it is, you know. And the thing about it is the lead car can follow the pace car as long as you don't pass the pace cars. And my understanding is he's fine.
Okay, they say it's okay down here, but I would be surprised if they'd say anything else.
Well, let's ask the judge.
No, that's a legal move, and if you got snookered, I mean, everybody in the field's probably feeling the same way. I wish it was a rule violation, but the winner's trophy today, folks, is going to come in the shape of an Oscar. It's going to be a little bit different this weekend than in the past. No big loving cups, no big trophies, just a nice little Oscar for that performance.
It sort of covers up the great performance that Purvis made here, coming from 14th position, fighting his way up through the field. All they're going to remember is how the pit crew absolutely put one over on everybody else.
You know, it's gotten to that point where the last few weeks, and I have to give Ray Everham and his guys the credit. At Charlotte, he stuck 2 tires on Gordon's car and won the World 600 a week or two later. Earnhardt tried it here. Ricky Rudd did it at New Hampshire last week. Pit crews and their acting ability is becoming more and more interesting every week.
You're watching Ron Burchett as they continue to do some work on car number 30, try to get him back in here. He's running 15th in that lead lap, just on the tail end of it as we get down to the finish. They'll come around and show that they have 59 complete this time by, and I think it's going to finish under yellow. Biggest fake you ever pulled off, Waltrip? Biggest fake?
Biggest fake. Well, very similar to that right there. The crew has a lot to do with it, though. The boys putting the tires on the wall and really following through. If Jeff just runs down in the pit lane and whoops back out in the racetrack, his crew would have told him, Steele's crew would have said, don't worry, they're not going to pit. They don't have any tires up. But them, it's a total package, and they pulled it off.
I think there was some choreography. You ever plan those things in advance? You talk about it among yourselves?
No, there's no method to any of these guys' madness. They just react to whatever the situation is. That's the thing that makes racing so neat. You just react. There's cause and effect.
Well, they certainly made it look dramatic enough that they had a problem and they were going to come in for rubber on car number 1, Jeff Purvis. And what we thought was going to be this great shootout between Purvis and Steele instead has Steele sequestered well back in that field as they get ready to go in 9th position, and Purvis up in 1st. They're coming by, complete another lap under caution, and as they do, that will automatically put them under white, and we're down to a finish that will be under a yellow flag.
See, it's kind of interesting. If you think back to the opening of the show, everybody said this is Steele's race to lose. And what had happened to him from the very get-go, it's like he was jinxed. He had the flat tire, he had trouble in the pits, and now he got faked out. So it was a bad day for him all the way around, faked out all the way around.
But a great ARCA race. And you know this ARCA series where they run at Talladega, they run at Daytona, they run at Atlanta, they run here up in Michigan, and then they're right back to short tracks, and they'll be at Kilcare in Dayton, Ohio, up there on that asphalt track next Friday, and then go up to Flat Rock on Saturday, and then they're going to do it in the dirt on Wednesday, August 3rd, up there at Indianapolis, while you guys are out there at the Brickyard drinking all that champagne, doing all that celebration. Hey, take a look at car number 1 here. We're getting a report that there's no fuel pressure on Jeff Purvis's car, and you can see him here as he tries to snake that thing down through, and if he runs out of fuel pressure, Dick Trickle's going to inherit this thing.
Well, now, you know, sometimes he who laughs, what's that old saying about he who laughs laughs longest, bestest, whatever? Wouldn't it be something if these boys down here on the pit lane jumping up and down and laughing all of a sudden turn to tears?
Well, and notice that Dick Trickle is doing the same thing, and the lights may be on in that car as well.
I'm sure both cars will make it around. I think this may be, I'm sure they're monitoring each other. It's probably just a little bit more gamesmanship. Oh, by the way, we might be out of fuel.
Gee whiz.
There's Trickle. He almost was the prognosticator of the day. He said his Goodyear tires might be able to outrun those Hoosiers, but it didn't work that way today. Be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. We got a similar situation tomorrow.
Yeah, Masterpiece Theater here today. Tomorrow we're going to go racing with the Winston Cup. Bowser's going to finish in 5th. Kimmel is going to finish 38th today. And Bobby Bowser, with that 5th place finish, will extend his point lead to 385 over Frank Kimmel. Bad day.
And Bowser, he wasn't much of a factor all day long, but that's how you win championships. He ends up in the top 5 after just riding around.
Checkered flag. Riding around and into the victory circle will be Jeff Purvis. And all of a sudden, the fuel problem seems to have evaporated.
Well, there was something choking out there, but it wasn't Purvis's car, I can tell you that.
All right, we'll be back to meet Jeff Purvis and that great cast of actors from car number 1 here at Pocono after we pause for the
Jeff Purvis, can he hang on to take the victory?
You can rest assured he's going to take it very easy this last lap.
Don't you know he's glad they stopped and got some gasoline in that thing? You don't have to worry about that.
That's right.
From the high banks of Michigan, the ARCA Series will go to the half-mile dirt track at I-80 Speedway in Omaha, Nebraska next weekend. That's what I like. One thing I like about the ARCA Series. They run dirt, and they run the short tracks, and they run the super speedways, and provide an excellent opportunity for an up-and-coming driver to get some experience on all kinds of racetracks. Jeff Purvis has moved to turn number 4 and is looking to the checkered flag and 3 consecutive wins at Michigan. He has never been defeated in ARCA competition on the high banks of this 2-mile tri-oval. Jeff Purvis wins the Meijer All-Sport 200. And John Kernan is in his 1 to go. Purvis Steele, meanwhile, has caught Purvis for the lead. What will Tim Steele do here on the last lap? Look at this.
Barfield to the inside.
Yep.
He gets by McClure.
Uh-oh, we got a wreck. Thurman spins. Hill is involved.
That's Dixon. Oh, there's a car over and over. Wow. Is that Bob Hill?
Bob Hill. Several times, and now we have a fire breaking out in the car. This occurs on the last lap of the race. Meanwhile, we'll walk up toward turn number 4 and find out who's going to win this thing. The wreck is over in turn number 2. Here they come for the checkered. Purvis is low, Steele high. It's going to be Jeff Purvis winning. Steele is second, then Mark Thompson, Mike Skinner, and Andy Hillenberg, the top 5. That's from our in-car camera. Look, he's trying to get out of the car.
That's the car that flipped in for in. We see him moving around. I don't know how he's going to get out.
Well, he's got the rescue crew there right now.
Take your helmet. Hook your helmet there, Bob. Your helmet's hooked up.
He's not concerned about that. Oh, it'll all rip out. As long as he can find an opening here.
What dramatic pictures here from the in-car camera that's still working after that car overturned probably, what, 8 or 9 times?
Yeah. Great pictures. Great pictures.
There he is. Oh. There he is. Attaboy. And the rescue squad is there. They've got the fire out.
Bill Weathers with James Finch
brought a second victory for Kenny Schrader in 1995, and this year he just may do the same thing for James Finch if he can hold on to win it here. 1 lap to go, and here comes Barfield.
All right, Barfield and Gibson. Ron Barfield in the 94, Gibson the 59. Barfield driving for Elliott. Both have Ernie Elliott motors in. It's a Chevrolet and 2 Fords.
Barfield is backed up. He is trying his best to get a run on the 1 car. He does have a run, but Hillenberg is trying his best to block him, and he might just have done that. If Barfield had to back off the gas, he will never get the momentum back going again.
Separation is 2 car lengths in turn 4. Final lap of the 34th ARCA 200. Crew chief talking to Hillenberg, said, hang on, buddy. Bottom of the racetrack, and Hillenberg will win it. Barfield second, Gibson third, and the rookie Baird finishes 4th with Marshall in 5th position. And so James Finch wins back-to-back ARCA 200 as an owner. Andy Hillenberg gets his second win in Daytona in 3 years.
And Kyle Petty is at the celebrating crew chief. Kyle?